This is the Satin Lounge. Etta James. At last, she's here. She's here, Satin Lounge. Yeah, are you comfy on your pillows? Are you sure? Got enough wine? You good? Candles? Okay, just checking. Because we are privileged and honored to have with us tonight the award-winning actress, and I call her the Sci-Fi favorite. She's probably most widely known as Olivia, Xena, the warrior princess's daughter, or perhaps you've seen her character daughter in Star Wars, The Clone Wars. She was also the female Jedi, Maris Brood, in the Star Wars, The Force Unleashed. You got too many names for me. I can't keep up with you. And Captain Lexa Singh in Star Trek Renegades. Did I get all those credits right?
You
worried me out, honey.
Great job.
She's also voiced over 50 characters in video games, cartoons, and commercials, as well as a regular in the sitcom Goodnight Burbank and your favorite Venice, the series Satin Lounge. Really, I'm serious now. Let's get closer. Please help me welcome the award-winning actress, Adrienne Wilkinson. Hello.
Ooh, I like that introduction.
But if you could only see what I see, the color red has never looked this good, Satin Lounge. I'm just saying. I need to know more about you. Where are you originally from, Adrienne?
I'm a Midwest girl. I come from Missouri.
Really? Midwest?
Yeah.
Seriously? I'm a Midwestern girl, too. I think I read that you and Brad Pitt were graduating
Lovers.
from the same high...
I
like the sound of that, too.
I was jumping the shark. That has not, in fact, happened. But we attended...
Backpedal.
Right.
Yeah, and you were saying?
We did go to the same high school. Not at the same time, sadly. I've never met him. But yes, we came from the same town and lived in the same neighborhood, in fact.
Wow. Well, there must be something in the water in Missouri or something, because the fineness is there. The talent is there. I'm a Midwestern girl, too.
Nice.
And, I grew up, dreaming about creativity beyond my backyard. Were you anything like me? Did you always dream and fantasize about being an actress?
Yes and no. I always dreamed and fantasized. I didn't. Becoming an actress actually sort of snuck up on me.
Mm-hmm.
I was a dancer all through my childhood and through high school.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until my senior year of high school that I stumbled into this acting opportunity where I was offered a role on a soap opera completely out of the blue.
Wow, which soap opera was that?
It was One Life to Live.
Wow.
Yeah.
In high school?
In high school in the Midwest. I happened to meet some casting directors, and one thing led to another, but sadly... it was just sort of this out of the blue opportunity, and my parents thought it was crazy, and they were probably right. This opportunity had come out of the blue. It seemed a little hard to believe. So so I finished my high school education, and then I moved to Los Angeles.
Okay, so they were thinking you had to sleep with the actor,
they were
the
worried,
agent,
yes.
or the...
Yeah.
No, it's your talent. It brought her all the way to Hollywood, which is, we're fortunate that you have been on our televisions for so long. You have such a longevity in this business. It's very impressive.
Oh, thank you. I am trying.
She's trying and she's succeeding. So you get to Hollywood. Things progress for you pretty quickly. Can you remember your very first gig in Hollywood?
Within the same month, I booked Saved by the Bell, the new class, and Sweet Valley High. So I was all of a sudden all over our sort of pubescent TV.
Okay. I love that. I want to run down a few of your credits here, if I may, in the earlier years. It's ridiculous. I mean, you were everywhere. Chicken Soup for the Soul. She was on MTV's Undressed. The legendary soap Days of Our Lives. So you end up on Days of Our Lives because of One Life to Live. Is that right?
They were actually entirely separate opportunities.
Wow.
But Days of Our Lives flirted with me for a while, and I ended up just doing like a week-long guest spot kind of thing.
Yeah, everybody flirts with Adrienne.
Lucky me.
One of my favorite shows was Charmed back then. You were on Charmed?
I was. I played Phoebe in disguise. I was Alyssa Milano when she was sort of undercover, which was, I have to say, it's humiliating infuriating story, but it's amusing for the fans. They would do this special effect where it was one of us morphing into the other, and of course we're in the exact same outfit, and et cetera and so forth. I'm about, I would say 4, maybe 5 inches taller than Alyssa, which, becomes obvious when they're doing that trick. But also, it turns out a couple of cup sizes smaller. It's never been more obvious than in those. Yeah.
No, get out of town. More fun over there. We did Charmed. We did ER. You were a love interest of what's his name?
Dr. Ray. He was the rock star doctor.
Yeah, he was the sexy doctor.
He was a sexy doctor, but it was also this incredible stunt where they built an entire building to collapse it, and it was. I fell like 40 feet on a wire. I mean, it's probably the biggest stunt that I've ever done. It was pretty crazy.
It's amazing how you do stunts. You mentioned that you were a dancer.
Right.
And you pretty much know how to do everything, tap and jazz and gymnastics as well. Choreography, maybe?
I do. I have done choreography. I think that, I fell into opportunities where... Luckily, there's always the backup plan. You have stunt doubles. You have stand-ins in case you simply can't do something.
Yeah.
But I'm, maybe it's the Midwestern thing, but I'm a big believer in being a team player and doing whatever you can.
Right.
So I'm always...
Beyond a triple threat.
I'm either brave or foolish.
I think you're pretty brave.
Aww.
I do. Now, before, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Xena, the Princess Warrior. I've always been puzzled as to how you could end up being Xena's daughter. I mean, what...
Well,
it is a fantasy.
It is a fantasy show, and it's the kind of thing that could only happen on a fantasy show. But basically, in real life, Lucy Lawless had her beautiful baby.
Yeah.
And on the show, also was portraying that the character of Xena was pregnant.
Yes.
Had the baby for a couple of episodes, and it became very clear that having a baby on an action show where you're in the woods is really difficult.
That is hilarious.
So I'm not actually sure when the decision was made, but clearly they had to change it up. They couldn't just be changing diapers all the time while also fighting evil. So as happens, she and the sidekick Gabrielle,
end up the sexy Gabrielle with her little stick.
Absolutely. So the two of them magically end up buried in a ice cavern.
Of course.
As happens.
Yes.
And they wake up and 25 years have passed. But because they were in the ice cavern, they look exactly the same.
Exactly. Exactly. And here you are.
Yes. And here I am, this daughter who absolutely hates her mother and is 25 and has 25 years of rage that she is eager to use.
And since it's a fantasy, Gabrielle's stepdaughter too. So,
yes.
Hope y'all caught that. But anyway. I love Xena. I do. I loved it. I love the, the innuendos, and we had to just kind of hold on for bated breath for any inclination that these two really loved each other. It was just ridiculous sometimes.
Well, I mean, it was a funny point in television history where they were sort of trying to walk both lines and make everybody happy at the same time, which is
they
tricky.
Mavericked. They did. They mavericked. Look at the shows now. We have everything we want. I mean,
without a doubt. But even beyond the sexuality question, I just think it really opened up rules for females in general. I just think you've never really seen an action woman like that until Xena came along. And at the time, it was the most widely watched show in the world. It overtook Baywatch.
Yeah.
And part of it is because who doesn't like chicks fighting?
Yeah.
But it was also these really overarching themes and these amazing characters and amazing relationships that really pulled people in. And also, the show had such a great sense of humor about itself. I mean, you'd have these beautiful drama episodes, but then you'd have a musical.
Right.
You'd have a slapstick comedy. And,
exactly.
It's fun, and sort of everybody's in on the joke.
They're dressed in historical costumes, and they're talking, modern day English. It was really interesting. I love that show. I'm so glad that you were a part of it, and you just look so badass and sexy in your... The leather skirt with the...
Right.
I mean, really. I mean, who pulls that off? Only
I'm telling
Adrienne Wilkinson.
Well, thank you. It took a village, though, to make all that happen. It was a remarkable... the Vanities team that show had was unparalleled in their skills. They were really amazing.
Yeah, and women looked great in big hair, too. It was great.
Yep.
You know, we talked about your dancing, and I'm thinking about the choreography that you had to deal with in Xena.
There is a parallel, but there's sort of a tricky hurdle you have to overcome, where because I was a dancer, I pick up choreography very quickly. Okay.